Alright, this is Nomad issue 3. This was a Captain America spin-off book. I read this all run about a decade ago when I was tracking down and reading just about all of Marky Mark's Captain America stuff. Well, this was a spin-off that came out when he was writing Captain America, and this is written by Fabian Nicieza, and I like Fabian Nicieza, and I think there is some potential in doing solo stuff with the Nomad character. And I remember he did actually do a couple of interesting things in this series. I remember one subplot with HIV, and the baby sidekick is great. Sadly, rereading this was mostly a chore. I try not to talk about this sort of stuff too much because it is very much something that specifically really only applies so personally to me more than to regular readers. But the writing here, I could not gan with it because it is all like Fabian Nicieza is trying out stand-up comedy at an open mic night. It is insufferable. Like, here, this is one of the first lines in the comic.
Now they're having organized meetings for organized crime.
Everything that Nomad thinks in this comic, it is like a hack club comedian routine. It's not good material either. You just heard it.
Now they're having organized meetings for organized crime.
It's like what you would have a character on a telly show be doing if you wanted to show a bad comedian in a comedy club. So honestly, it is unreadable to me. And it is a shame because this issue, it gives us not one, but 2 fights with s.h.i.e.l.d. This is a fairly intriguing matchup today, but other than some anticlimactic punching, it doesn't really try to say anything about the 2 characters or ever highlight why someone would think it would be an interesting matchup. And during all this fighting, Nomad is reciting bad comedy bits.
Now they're having organized meetings for organized crime.
Takes us out of everything. And this, it could be a good fight. I suppose I should explain Nomad and who he is. I didn't think I ever did that, other than pointing out his brief appearance in that Captain America Origins issue. Nomad, he was the sidekick of the crazy 1950s Captain America. He was the crazy 1950s Bucky man. He eventually came back and he teamed with and learnt from the real Captain America, and he became his sidekick for a time. He then adopted the Nomad identity, which Captain America had briefly used in the 70s. But eventually the 2 of them drifted apart because Nomad, he was becoming a lot more cynical when it comes to criminals. He was fine with, like, letting them fall to their death off of a cliff or breaking their arms or whatever. Then he spun off into this, his own book, and they completely redesigned him. Actually, if you add on, it is a good splash page later on. showing, well, they completely redesigned and revamped them into this super lame Lorenzo Lamas renegade look, which was cool for about a day. Now he travelled around America on a motor bicycle with a sawn-off shotgun, and he wasn't afraid to get his hands dirty to try to clean up this country. Now he prowls the Badlands, an outlaw hunting outlaws, a bounty hunter, a renegade. He is Nomad. He is also a failed stand-up comedian too.
Organized meetings for organized crime.
I didn't like this look, but to be honest, Nomad, he never had a good design. I would, however, take the boring blue and yellow suit over this edgy 90s anti-hero look. Another thing to point out is this ginger nut here. This is an s.h.i.e.l.d. agent. He is one of the ones who is pursuing Nomad. And this is actually John, Velcro's ex-husband, the one that we have seen plenty of in my Defenders reviews. I didn't know why him, of everyone, was sent after Nomad. There's no connection, but I at least appreciate Fabian Nicieza. He didn't just create yet another s.h.i.e.l.d. agent to never appear ever again. Another thing that I truly cannot be arsed with is this shite about Nomad having this underground network of street-savvy informants. They exist only for three things: plot advancement, exposition, and to have women dressed as hookers and justify it as they are not just hookers, they are unsung heroes with their ears to the pavements. They'll also take the baby off of his hands whenever the plot requires it. The highlight of this series is the baby. Bucky Man baby. I will admit it is implausible and incredibly stupid from the perspective of Nomad's character. But what happened was he found a junky mother off of her head on the smack and the cocaine and the wobbly eggs. And she had this little baby girl who was being neglected. So Nomad decided to just take the baby. He basically kidnapped this baby and he started carrying her around everywhere, and he put her in a Bucky Man costume. It is stupid, but in a series that is needlessly bleak and cynical and very unfunny, Bucky Man baby offers some fun to the proceedings and at the very least is adorable. There is one issue where she plays with a wolf cub. It's impossible to hate that issue because it's just so ruddy adorable. A lot of the lore of this series, it sucks. Rather than inherit much from Nomad's past appearances in Captain America, Fabian Nicieza, he mostly just sets up a whole new world for him. This boring LA underground that has virtually no engrossment value to offer. Whereas stuff like Nomad's ex-girlfriend or the 1950s Captain America or some of the enemies he fought as Captain America's sidekick or some of the adventures he went on with Captain America, even Captain America himself. It is all irrelevant, or mostly irrelevant, to this Nomad ongoing series. And us.agent, he is underwritten. They didn't really do anything with him in this issue. It feels like he's there to pay lip service to a greater idea of there being an insightful confrontation between him and Nomad, which there isn't. And just before, when I said at least Fabian Nicieza, he didn't just introduce a new s.h.i.e.l.d. agent who will never appear ever again. Well, he does that here with this other guy. And I do really want to like this. I like the writer. I like the idea of Nomad having his own stories. I like us.agent. I even like that we have some forgotten about secondary character from odd issues of the Defenders. But this, it's just disappointing. It doesn't satisfy us on the plot front, and the fights, I suppose they are well told visually, but the attached writing, or at least Nomad's thoughts, just ruins it for us.
Now they're having organised meetings for organised crime.
And the end point is annoying because it makes a case that Nomad is going to shoot this woman's head off, which is clearly showing the star of the book unfavourably. It's like making him look no better than a horrid criminal. And the book will continue to be confused about whether or not Nomad is using lethal force or not. The book will consistently fail to ever settle that argument. And this whole issue doesn't resolve anything. There is no payoff to all this stuff with us.agent and the s.h.i.e.l.d. agents and them hunting down Nomad. It's just dropped, and I didn't recommend this. It is a disappointment. Maybe I recommend it 10 years ago. Maybe this was brilliant before all the Brexits and the coronaviruses and ISIS and that stuff. Well, look, even the cover teases you with the greater layers possible in this fight. Ex-Buckyman versus ex-Captain America. Neither of them aspects of either character is mentioned once inside. To repeat, I didn't recommend this one. Poorly executed, underwhelming plot, naff ideas about the underground LA community, and then worst of all that awful stand-up comedy shite. 7 thumbs up. It was Neil Hamburger I was doing an impression of.
And why did the Red Hot Chili Peppers cross the road?
Why?
Well, because they were running away from the rehab clinic.